No real pattern, lots of drama. Could have been about 3-3, but it is 0-0. And who knows what else we've got to come beyond 45 minutes and maybe 30 beyond that, and maybe a shootout beyond that. Back downstairs to see what's going on with you lot.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. A bit of a story of what could have been already. What have you made of that? There was a lot going on in that first half.
Yeah, it was very cagey. What I expected. I thought we looked nervous the first 5-6 minutes. You know, with a young team, without many senior players, it's understandable. We rode that out. The injury to Gravenbach, I think, disrupted Liverpool. We took advantage of that, and then we looked like we was in the ascendancy. I think the crucial, I always thought this, maybe 70 minutes to 90 minutes is going to be the crucial point of the game. Now, it depends on what Poch will do. Does he go for the game then, or does he sit back and take it to extra time? I think Jackson's going to get a chance in this game, and we need him. We need him to take it. He's working hard against Van Dijk and Konate and occupying them. But I know there's a chance in there for him, and it's just going to I think that moment is about whether he takes it or whether he doesn't.
Okay, Lee, the bonus of one young side is there's another young side out there.
Oh my goodness, I'll tell you what, John, were you surprised at just how open that game was as well? High energy.
It was. I knew it was going to be such a game. I think one thing we also need to look at, I think young Bradley's always, leaving that right back when Liverpool have the ball. You can see him in the middle there trying to pick those pockets where he gets the ball and turns. So that's something we need to, be careful about. I think Caicedo or Enzo, one of them need to make sure they pay attention when he lifts the right back and goes into the middle to get the ball. That's something that we've struggled with, so that's something we need to really look up. But I think it's an open game. Of course, it was going to be like this, but we always try to counter-attack and see how we can get the goal from a counter-attack, but we need to also try to, get the ball and try to control the game as well.
Absolutely. Midfield seems so important, Joe, and I know you spoke about Conor Gallagher pre-match. He's playing so high up again once again today, isn't he? Yeah,
I mean, he's supporting the front three, effectively. He makes lovely runs inside to out. When he made that run on the inside and Sterling fouled him and then he cut it back, I mean, that disrupts Liverpool, because Liverpool play with a high line, so you have to have runners from midfield. So I would imagine Poch would be telling him, any time he sees a bit of space, just attack it. And then you're relying, I think, what John said about defensively in the midfield, Enzo and Caicedo at times are now going to have to split, particularly over to Chilwell's side now. He's got a yellow. They need to support. We need to block out, because Liverpool attack them wings. So them two are going to have to cover a lot of ground in this second half.
Now, talk to me about what the conversation is going to be in the changing room right now, because that disallowed goal, that can really put the heads down. It reminds us a bit of the 2022. So what are the conversations that go on? I mean,
you don't really mention it. You just say to the lads, look, you've opened them up. We've made the best chances in the game. So take from that, build from that, take confidence from that. Half an inch the other way and we're 1-0 up, and then it's a different story. So you don't mention it enough, but you just allude to the fact that we've broken down on a few occasions, and just keep on doing it.
Now, Lee, you've seen these guys. You spend a lot of time with these guys. What have you made of them? Are they looking confident now? They've picked up a bit after the first 20 minutes?
Well, it's interesting watching the body language before the game, and I was talking to Joe and to John. They look so relaxed, so confident, and that comes from the top as well. Maurizio Pochettino, he's not a man to panic, is he? He's a man to sort of assess what's going on, and he'll be very grounded, John, when he's talking to the guys in there.
I think he will be. I think we're still in the game. It's an open game. I think it's yet to be taken by both teams. I think he will definitely be saying to the lads, young Bradley is someone that we need to look after, because he's causing us a lot of problems. When he picks that ball in the middle there, he's always freed. So that's something we need to, if it was during our day, you have the likes of JT saying, John Boy, you need to get hold of him. So that's something we need to look at. But I think the game is quite open. Let's hope we can get better as long as the game goes, and if we can, catch them in the counter and get a goal, and then we can sit back and, soak out the defence and defend.
You should do a podcast, John. You're good at this.
It's definitely an exciting game, isn't it, Lee? But we've got hashtags that we can use as well if you want to join in the conversation.
Hashtag Wembley Live, folks. Get your questions in for the boys, for the commentators as well. It's interesting you're talking about the chances at both ends. How impressed have you been with Malo Gusto once again?
Yeah, again, I mean, he had a couple of shaky moments where he got a bit untidy with his touch, but he's so good one-on-one. He's dealt with Diaz. There's a couple of times, I've played winger, and when you haven't got the beating of your fullback for pace, you have to find other ways, and Diaz relies so much on running and running off the ball, and a couple of times he's tried to run Gusto, and Gusto's dealt with him really, really well, and also threatened the other side of the game as well. So I think he's putting question marks in Diaz's mind. He's pushing him back. So I'm really comfortable with that area of the pitch. But Diaz is a quality player, and he's going to have to keep his level up. But I've been so impressed with him.
Any changes that you'd make? What are the changes that you would make, just you personally? Because obviously Pochettino might have a different opinion to you.
Do you know what? I don't think I'd make a change. I think it's one of them. I think the lads are doing well. I think they've, like I said, they've come through that first 5-6 minutes. There's a bit of butterflies, a bit of nerves, not really being positive and proactive enough. And then after that, I think tactically, Poch won't want to change a thing. Obviously, we'll have options later on in the game. You've got players to come on of real quality to win the game. But at the moment, there's no need to change things tactically. Liverpool are the ones who are going to have to maybe switch things around here and there already for the injury. So I think I'm reasonably happy.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. No, you don't want to be the first to make that change, because sometimes when you do make that early change, you kind of disrupt the balance of the team. So I think both managers are going to be looking at the game thinking who's gonna make the first change. It's a cagey one. Sometimes you make a change early and it's good, but sometimes when you make it that early in the game, it kind of disrupts the balance of the team. So I wouldn't see both teams making any changes right now.
It's an interesting point as well, because the game is so open. At what point, I know they're two young teams, at what point do you start seeing players getting a little bit leggy and then managers looking to the bench?
I think you've just got to. I think you've got to look at the game, get your staff looking at the game. There'll be certain players who you ever think maybe they're not 120-minute player. You're thinking of the wide men. You know, Sterling gets through a lot of running. Palmer gets through a lot of running, so they're the ones you'll be looking at. But I think you've got to prepare for penalties. You know, you're preparing for that. You know, if you can win the game and you see them hurt, then maybe you'll make a couple of attacking substitutions. But it's very different in cup finals, because you don't. The normal rules don't apply. The players that maybe can run all day in normal games, the nerves get to them, and you see them leggy after 60, 70 minutes. Yeah. So you just got to be on. It's not something you can plan for. I think you've got your options in the back, and you wait and see where it is. And obviously a goal will change that as well.
Guys, as a player, where's your head at this point? Because honestly, the crowd today, both ends, but the Chelsea fans, I mean, the Chelsea fans, if they could, are literally willing that ball in the goal. Where is your head at?
I think it's something. I think this kind of games, especially now when it comes second half, it comes down to, now the experience starts to play. You need the experienced players to say to the young players, start to pull you here and there. I think that's. I'm not being, but this is something we had when we, the likes of JT, Joe Cole, Lams, Didier. They try to get hold of you and say, oh, here, let's we're not having the ball. Let's tighten it up a bit, and then once we get the ball, we can try to counter-attack. But I think that's something that you'll be looking at right now and thinking, how are we going to manage this game? How are we going to win this game? So, and when you look at the Liverpool team, they have like McAllister, Endo. These are experienced players. So they are the ones who's going to be trying to dictate the game from the midfield. So we have to also try to get hold of the game and, like I say, counter-attack and try to get a goal.
And Joe's used the P word already, penalties. At what point is At what point do you suddenly think, right, we've got another 30 minutes here plus potentially more?
I think we'll get a goal. Yeah. I actually do think we'll get a goal. I think Liverpool, they play very open. I think Jackson has been threatened quite a lot. I think if we keep playing the way we're playing, but I think it's also risky because they're having a lot of the ball. Like you said, they started really well, they ended the game really well. So we don't want to give them that opportunity again to start well in the second half and control the game. We have to, at some point, take the risk and go forward and try to create chances ourselves and control the game as well.
Absolutely. Kerry, back to you, because I think we've got some fan reaction coming in.
We've got some fan reaction because we've got fans all around the globe watching in. First of all, we're going to have a look at how our South Korean fans are celebrating. There you go. That's to the almost. Listen, we just want to tease you out there. We don't want to show you too much. This is the chance goal that wasn't. But yeah, you know what? All the fans in the stadium were the same as we were. At that moment, you thought it was a goal.
At the moment, I thought it was a goal. I knew VAR would have a look at it because you saw the way that Jackson bent his run. You knew it was going to be either side of an inch or two either side, so you knew that. But what I would say
that's
is
the Cole Palmer chance.
Yeah, I mean that's cup finals. It's a knife edge. It doesn't have to be an end-to-end game because everyone's so engrossed in it and so involved in it.
And this is the Gakpo header when he hit the post. Oh, they're watching. There we go. Now, you're saying a last minute because we dragged you all the way down here, so you didn't actually get to see the last minute of that. Guys, who was your man on the field that, when it started getting tough, when you needed somebody to go, right, this is what we're doing? Who was your man alongside you?
Do you know what? This man here to my right, it was a chain reaction of dealing. But do you know what? Who's the man for cup finals? It's Didier Drogba. Yeah. Do you know? So many times for Chelsea, he delivered for us on the big moments, you know, and he particularly in cup finals where we wasn't playing particularly well. But you look when you've got someone like that and you know there's a goal. You know, it might be if I've got the ball, I only have to put it into an area because he was so good. He'd come and make something of it. So yeah, Didier Drogba was the go-to guy for cup finals.
Talking of experience, Raheem Sterling has been everywhere again. I mean, at games like this, he's one of the few players in this Chelsea squad that has been there, done it, and he's played in these occasions on this stage so many times before. How important is that?
I think with his experience right now, obviously, I think the game is going to be, I think the second half is going to be very crucial because the game is going to be very, I wouldn't say too open, but I think Liverpool, they can sense, you know, they can sense something because they're having a lot of the ball. And when you do have a lot of the ball in this kind of games, at some point you're about to, you know, create chance. So that's something we need to be, you know, aware of. But we're defending well, but like I said, it's going to come a point whereby we need to take the shackles off and go for it. Mm-hmm. You know, let the game be open, go for it. But at this point, I think Liverpool, so we need to, you know, we need to go for it. I think we need to go for it at this point, really.
Absolutely, attacking players on the pitch.
Yeah.
But as we've alluded to already, there are options on the bench, Joe, as well, players with real pace.
Yeah, we've got pace all over the pitch. Like, I go back to what I said before. It's like, I don't think I wouldn't make a change at the moment. What I would like to see from a tactical perspective is Palmer just drifting inside a little bit, making another body in midfield. And then I think, I'd play Raheem further up because Gomez, I think Raheem's got Gomez. You know, I think he's got him in behind. Gomez is a centre half playing at full back. I mean, he's a fantastic player. He plays right back, he plays left back. So I wouldn't make any changes at the moment. And we have got match winners on the bench. But from the off, I'd probably try and encourage Palmer to drift in just to see what Robertson does. Because, you know, what if Van Dijk and Kanai all of a sudden they got more bodies in front of them. They always, way Liverpool play, they always play hard up the pitch. We need to find the way. I think the goal will come from Chelsea breaking up the play, Casado or Enzo winning it, slipping the ball through to Palmer, and then the pass coming. Okay. And then it's up to Raheem and Nicholas Jackson to then be calm and composed, and then I can see the goal coming from that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, keep your conversation coming in. Use the hashtag, keep it coming in. I think actually we are going to head up to the commentary because they've got some of your comments that have been coming in. So I'm going to hand it back up to our commentary duo to find out what's going on up there.